You are now watching Zach Lesage PTCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to Zach Lesage PTCG. I'm Zach Lesage, and today we're going to be looking through the best methods to search through your prize cards. So if you need to learn what's in your prize cards, this video is probably for you, and it probably explains what exactly is prize card searching, why is it important. I'm going to show you how a no method can vary from a searching out for specific prize cards in particular matchups, so just kind of key searching through your prize cards, and basically the way that I've perfected searching through prize cards. Now, whichever way allows you to kind of understand the game and create the best plays is going to be the best for you. I don't recommend the no method unless you're really running out of time. I do recommend that you're at least searching through most of your prize cards to be a little bit more informed in the games that you're playing. In this video, I do have to give a shout out to my friend Hayden Frew for kind of sitting through and allowing me to search through my prize cards against him. Hayden's a really great player from my local area, and I completely appreciate all the help he's given towards this video. And just in general, he's an awesome guy, so appreciate that. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit it right now, and I'll do my best to describe everything in this video. As always, feel free to let me know what's going on in the comments below if you need a little bit more of an explanation. Anyways, let's jump into it. So we're going to start off this video with the no method. So it consists of not searching through your prize cards at all, or very lightly searching through. You're not getting the complete knowledge of your deck, and quite often you're going to be playing blind in the game because you don't necessarily know what's in your prize cards. You can't make the most informed decisions. Now, this does save time. I would use this in a way where let's say if the time's running really quickly, or let's say if there's more important things, like if it's going to be you're about to tie situation, it's probably not the best time to sit down and search through your prize cards in a game 3 with 5 minutes left. You probably want to just avoid that because that would take more of your time, even though you're allotted that time as per the rules to kind of have a first extended search, or at least that's a gray area. It's probably a good idea to skip it, especially if it means you're going to tie, or if it takes away one of your win conditions. Now, it is quite easy to not search through your prize cards. It's actually easier than all the methods because you have to do nothing. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the best or anything like that. It's actually, again, unless you're running severely low on time, and that's not to say you should ever rush your opponent or that you should be in a rush state of playing Pokemon, but sometimes you need to decide what you're doing in a game, and gathering information might not be the best use of your time with severely limited time. So let's see exactly what this looks like in an application of a game. So starting off with this game, we're going to go in with the no method, and that's going to be, we're just not going to search through our prize cards. And that might present some issues in the game that you might not totally be knowledgeable about. So here you can see we're going to start with the Yveltal. That's completely fine, and it doesn't necessarily matter. We know what we have in our hands, and I'm sure we know what we have in our deck to a certain degree. I think anyone who's playing a deck should have knowledge of their full 16 events. Like, basically, you should learn the deck that you're bringing to an event. But when you're playing at the game, you either want to be using the important cards method, where you're searching out particular cards for a particular matchup, because those cards are going to be more aware in a certain matchup, or you want to search through all of your prize cards, write them down, memorize them, however it works. You are allowed to take notes in a game on a clear, like, fresh piece of paper in between rounds. Online, I'm not entirely sure what the rule is, but I don't think that anyone's going to be upset if you have a notebook on your desk. It's one of those things where if you don't search through your prize cards, you might not necessarily know if the cards that matter are in a... You can't play to every single situation. So we're going to go here first, and we're going to go quick ball. So in any kind of situation where I'm not searching through my prize cards, I'm just going to scroll through here, be like, there's the Eternatus. If I continue to scroll through my prize cards, I can quickly find out that I have handfuls of energies prized maybe. But the biggest issue here is that I don't necessarily have access to all my energies. I wouldn't know that without checking through my prize cards. So if you just stop at the Eternatus that you want to grab for the particular matchup, you're only thinking about one thing at a time in Pokemon. You're like, I need Eternatus. You got to look at the big picture if you want to have opportunities. Because maybe I need to calculate my odds of hitting an energy. That might be the difference between me playing a Marnie. That might be playing against or playing the Professor's Research. Maybe I'm going to draw my prize cards in a different kind. Since I have a research prized, maybe I'll take a riskier knockout because I have a research prized. But I don't have, like, it's one of those things where I don't know what I don't know. So when you search through your prize cards, at least do some kind of method. So if we're going through this as a no method, I'm just going to go with the Eternatus V, and I'm going to continuously play. If you ever find yourself making that mistake, you can often if you ever forget to check through your prize cards on the first go, and I mean, I do that all the time, or sometimes I'm just like, oh dang, I totally didn't check through it properly or thoroughly, or I might have missed a card. It's better for you to go back in again with another card here. So if you missed it on the first time and it's absolutely an honest mistake, definitely go through with Pokemon, like your second option, whether maybe it's Pokemon Communication. I could have used my opponent's Giant Hearth to look through my prize cards. So there's things, maybe the dangerous drill that'd be good against Giant Hearth would be huge. Maybe I'm playing against an ADP deck and I don't know if I have my Crushing Hammers. Again, if you don't search past what you're searching for directly in your deck, so here I would only go to the Pokemon that are, if you don't continue to search, you can't properly make a plan in the game. So that's kind of how non-searching for your prize cards works. It sounds kind of silly to show it, but I hope that just this situation can present to you what type of issues can arise from it, especially with like the energies that we might have noticed, even the research, the way that we might plan the way to draw our prize cards this game. So that's kind of what not searching through your prize cards really means. So this method is a little bit more difficult than the no method because you're only searching for the cards that are needed for a particular matchup. So let's say if you're playing against Blacephalon, you might want to find ways to stop their Giant Hearth from being played. You might be looking for your supporter cards or your key Pokemon in a deck. It's semi-quick because you still put some effort into it, but you're really looking for some key cards. You're not necessarily looking for all of your cards. If you stumble upon it, that's cool, but you might be missing one or two prize cards here. It's usually reliable. One or two prize cards might not necessarily matter, but there's some cases such as the 2012 World Championships against Igor Costa and Harrison Levin, where not checking through your prize cards or not checking through your prize cards completely can definitely cost you the game. No shame to Harrison in that position, but Harrison did eventually lose the World Championship title that year because he didn't necessarily search his prize cards thoroughly enough against Igor when he could have won the game otherwise. This one's a bit of a medium difficulty because you'd have to put some effort. You have to have knowledge of your deck and knowledge of matchups, but that's no different than testing. And if you're looking to kind of improve, those are things that you should be doing anyways. So in this game here, I definitely want to go through the important cards that I'm going to be playing in this matchup. So I really like when I get to go second, not particularly for the deck, but it does feel like it gives me a little bit more time to kind of make informed plays when it comes to looking through my prize card. So I get to learn exactly what my opponent's deck is turn one. If you're playing online, it's an open deck list, you can learn immediately. So knowing that I'm playing against my friend Hayden, and shout out to Hayden for helping me out with this video, I totally appreciate it. It's one of those things where I know that he is playing a Cracephalon deck, which is a Blacephalon, Cramorant, Reshiram, and Charizard GX deck. I gotta start experimenting with the cards that I know are going to be helpful in this matchup. So cards that might allow me to set up, things that might be integral to my deck. So things like Crobat V, my Eternatus line, things such as my energy count, things such as my supporter count, and any other cards that might be important in the matchup. So something like Switch might not necessarily be notable. It might be notable because I'm discarding Switch from my hand, presumably from a professor's research. But something like my Count of Yveltal might not necessarily be something that I'm too worried about or anything like that. So as I would use this type of method if I'm running out of time or if I'm just kind of playing at a kind of casual level. When I'm playing through the Players' Cup, North America qualifiers, I'm scrolling through every single prize card that I have access to, making sure that I know exactly what's in my 6 prize cards over here so I can properly assess how I'm going to tackle each game. And I thoroughly recommend doing that. So here I actually have no way to search through my deck. So I'm going to play the game to kind of get to that point. There's nothing that would allow me to search, so I'm going to play both of these down. No point for me not to play down a Crobat here. And I still have no way to search through, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of play to all my outs. There's a Crushing Hammer, and there's a Research. So Switch might be something where I might want to look at my last Switch now. You can see that I have access to be able to search through. Usually when you're going through a search as well, you want to go through the freest search. So Great Ball is like a partial search. You might want to note the things that are from Great Ball. If there is a Quick Ball or an Energy Spinner, it's usually better to play the Energy Spinner because you're not discarding anything. Unless, of course, there's a particular reason. So looking through here, it might be difficult after you pitch a hand, but you do got to keep that in mind. So I know for energies, I've prized none of my energies in this particular matchup. So I don't necessarily need to worry about that. Yveltal is nothing that I need to worry about. Zigzagoon's damage doesn't matter, so I don't need to search for Zigzagoon. I didn't prize a Crobat because I've discarded one. I have one in play. For my Eternatus line, I have one in play, so I know that I haven't prized those. Crushing Hammers don't matter. None of those cards really matter. So I know right here that I haven't prized a boss. I know that I've prized 2 copies of I've prized 1 copy of Marnie, and I've prized 1 copy of Professor's Research. So I know at least 33% of my prize cards are a draw supporter. But where are my other prize cards that might be missing? Does that necessarily matter? The only other thing that I might consider that might matter in here is the switch, because we did discard 3 switch on our first turn. So we know that we prized a Marnie, a Research. We didn't prize a switch at all. I do know that we prized Dangerous Drill. Dangerous Drill might be able to take away my opponent's Giant Hearth. So I only know about 50% of my prize cards, but it just tells me that the rest of my prize cards don't necessarily matter as much. The other cards that I prize end up being like a Quick Ball, which isn't too bad. That could be kind of like a draw supporter in the same way as a Marnie or a Research. But beyond that, when you're going through a method like this, you're not necessarily looking accurately through your prize cards. It doesn't matter that I have a Zigzagoon prize, particularly in this matchup. There's not really enough HP where I'm worried about the amount of Pokemon. So it's one of those things where I don't necessarily have to worry too much about those cards. So if I'm running against time, or if it's like a game 3 type situation, or you don't necessarily think that you have enough time to complete a match, it's still probably a good idea to get a good idea about what's in your prize cards. And you don't need necessarily, like, let's say if I only knew that I had a Marnie and a Research prize, and I didn't even know about Quick Ball, I can always search through with another thing like the next turn and be like, okay, I can reevaluate. Maybe I have a little bit more time this turn. Maybe the PTCGO timer is ticking down. It might be a little bit more valuable to search through on a second search. Kind of like in a test, don't necessarily force yourself to answer every single question. Answer the questions that you know, so find the prize cards that you know for missing, and then maybe put question marks between other cards. Have an idea of what's in your list for sure, become comfortable with that, and this method's fairly easy to utilize, and it's the way that I think most players search through their prize cards. So the perfect searching of cards is searching through all of your prize cards, either writing them down or remembering them. So you get to learn exactly what's hidden away in your 6 prize cards. Obviously you can't determine which prize cards you're going to draw, but you can put it towards a percentage. It does take more time. It requires you to go through the amount of your deck maybe 1 or 2 times. So make sure that you do have enough time within a game, that you're not doing it at too slow of a pace. You want to make sure that you're keeping a brisk play, being it safe and fair for both players, and it helps you create a path to create your win conditions. So maybe you want to draw a draw supporter out of your prize cards. You can make plays based off you drawing a draw supporter, or your supposed odds of drawing a draw supporter. You can understand exactly what your last prize card is going to your last turn, so you know exactly which resources you have during the game and what resources you will not have for the game. I usually alter my plays based off what's in my prize cards. Maybe you have your Tapu Koko Prism Star prize, so you need to actually use a Boltund, or you can't get a Pika Rom powered up. Do you see the power of how searching through your prize cards would be really helpful? Let's look at this game versus Hayden to see exactly how I can find my prize cards. So going through here, it's one of those things where we're gonna go through how you can perfectly search through your prize cards, and there's a couple ways that you could actually go through here. So I mean, beyond this being an awesome start for an Eternatus deck, this deck is absolutely broken. I recently brought it to a 6-1 day 1 finish at GG Tour that actually happened today at the time of this recording, so pretty hyped on it. Besides the point, I'm able to search through. You can see that my home slay is Hayden, who's the Snorlax bro. He picked up a funny deck to choose here because it doesn't necessarily matter. Propagation. That's fine. It's going to give us more time to really think about what we could do on our first turn of the game. So we know that Energy Spinner is going to be our free search in this type of matchup. So I think it's going to be really helpful for us to be able to search through our prize cards. One of the first methods that I think is just like either going through your deck. PTCGO kind of shows you all your cards in stacked order. You could either turn that off for the sake of it to challenge yourself, or you can make it really easy on yourself. So I'll kind of explain as we go through exactly what we could go through here. I like the beauty. You can play beauty on your first turn. Hayden has the funniest deck. I don't even know what's going on here. If I played against this in tournament, I'd be going crazy, right? There's so many Miltanks into Denes. The deck is very, cheese. But, yeah. So the first method that we're going to go through here is we can determine exactly what like cards are prized by determining how many cards we have in our deck. So I know that this deck has 9 energies and it has 19 copies of Pokemon. So if I know that there's 19 copies of Pokemon and I know that there's 9 energies, you choose the 2 that have the least amount of copies in your deck. So that would be 19 plus 9, that's 28. So I know that there's 32 trainers as well. So the 2 will always equal the large one. So if we go through here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in a perfect world, with nothing prized at all, we know that we have, with there being 6 here between my hand and play, we know that there's we know that there's 13 hidden away between my deck and my prize card. So we'll quickly find the number that's missing. Same thing for trainers. We know that there's 30 in the deck if there's nothing. So going through here, and I mean, I do have the stacked view on. So immediately, I know that I have 2 dark energies prized. When it comes to energies, if you play a split of energies, of course you could differentiate, but now for sure I know that 2 of my energies are prized instantly because 0 minus 2 equals 7, so that means I have 2 hidden away in my prize cards. Going for Pokemon right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6, 9, 11, 14, 15, 18. So I know that I only have 1 Pokemon prized. So I have 1 Pokemon prized, 2 dark energies, and then I have 3 trainers prized. So let's quickly go through and find exactly what we're looking for because we know that we're not looking for energies at this point. And again, this works a lot better in real life when you're looking through a deck unscrambled. PTCGO is a little bit simpler to see exactly what's prized. You could cross compare a deck list in a second browser, on your phone, however it works. So going here, I know that I have 2 copies of Yveltal. I know I have 3 copies of Yveltal there, 1 copy in the active. I only played 2 Zigzagoons. I have the Crobats there completely. So I have all of my Eternatus VMAX. So basically all I know for here, for certain, let me just double check, 16, yeah. So I know for sure that I have to have one of these cards prized. So what's the card that I have prized? Well, so we know it's not Yveltal. We know it's not Zigzagoon. Is it Eternatus? There's 2 Eternatus there, and there's 2 Eternatus there. There's 3 there, there's 3 there. I have a Crobat in my hand, there's a Crobat in my hands. So I know for sure. Maybe I didn't prize one. Did I do my math wrong? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 11, 14, 15, 16, 19. Okay, so we didn't prize a Pokemon. We prized 2 energies and we prized 4 trainers. So that's my fault. But it's always good to double check when it's going through. So you have 2 energies prized and we have 4 trainers prized. So I know that I play 4 copies of Crushing Hammer. So if I have 1 here, or I play 3 copies of Crushing Hammer, I have 1 here. That means I have 2 in my prize card. So I have 2 Dark Energy and 2 Crushing Hammer prized. I know that I have 1 copy of Dangerous Drill. You don't want to look at 1-ofs because as soon as you got one, you got one. When you got your 2-ofs, if you play 1, you know that you don't have 1. So there's Energy Spinner. I only play 2. We're fine. There's a Great Ball in my hand right there. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. There's no Lysander, so I know I prized a Lysander, and there's no Research. I prized a Research. So I prized a Research, a Lysander, 2 Dark Energies, and 2 Crushing Hammers. So let's go ahead here. And just so we can search, like, that's how we can continue on with our game. So I know that it might be more difficult for me to find an energy in the game. I know that Crushing Hammer might not necessarily come out, but I also can plan the type of prize series that I'm going to draw because I have a 33% chance out of my 6 prize cards to draw a Crushing Hammer. I know that I have a 33% chance to get a supporter card, whether it's a draw supporter or a non-draw supporter, which is Lysander. So it's one of those things where I can accurately plan my game. I can accurately decide how I'm going to be drawing my prize cards. As it whittles down, I can improve my odds, so I know exactly what's going to come back to me. I can make plays based off what my odds are of drawing out of my prize cards each and available turn. So it is helpful. So basically, I think if you're playing with kind of a scattered view of your prize cards, or what's in your deck, I think that it's best to go for the Pokemon plus energies equals trainers, or the 2 smallest amount of cards that you have in your deck equals the biggest amount of you have in your deck, which equals 60. That kind of allows you to pinpoint quickly what you're searching for. When it comes to energies, most decks only play 1 or 2 types of energies, so it's really easy to search out energies that way. Then it allows you to kind of break up each consecutive search. You can get a little bit stuck, and as you see, it's different on PTCGO a little bit than what it would be in real life, but hopefully this will allow you to kind of get some of your games going and make some more informed decisions. And there we have it today. I do want to give Hayden another shout out. Thank you again, Hayden, for helping me out with this video. And if you're ever looking to help me out in a video again, or if anyone who's listening or watching wants to help me out, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'm always looking to collab with people. Hit me up in the DMs. That being said, hopefully I described everything appropriately today, or that it was easily digestible. I know sometimes I can get a little bit scattered and I start tongue twisting words and stuff like that. Even how in the last one I was like, I missed that I didn't have a Pokemon prized, and it's just because I'm so excited and running through to be able to show you exactly how to search for your prize cards and other great things in the Pokemon TCG. But basically just searching through your deck list, cross-comparing it, understanding what's in your deck list, and understanding what's in your deck is going to be huge and allowing you to kind of up your game that much more. If you don't find this video helpful, I apologize, you're probably already broken in the game. Otherwise, I am really glad that you're able to grow with me in the channel, and anything that I could provide and teach you, hopefully it helps you on your Pokemon journey. Again, if you've been supporting the channel from day one, I totally appreciate it. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, would totally appreciate it as well, as we're trying to hit our next milestone of 1,500 subscribers. That being said, I do got to go take a nap because I have day 2 of the GG Tour Regional Championships tomorrow, and at the time of the airing, it's today, so maybe I'll have a video on my channel this week. That being said, I do got to go. Have yourself a great one, and thank you so much for watching. Peace out. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. If you haven't already, it'd mean the world to me if you could subscribe to help support me as a content creator. Thanks again, and have yourself a great one.